Today we're talking about variants and more specifically Sonic the Hedgehog. Welcome to Retro Faith.
Sega!
Sonic, my old friend. We've had some good times together. We've blasted Robotnik 1,000 times. We've collected Chaos Emeralds until the cows come home. We've had a love affair to match the ages. You're always there when I need you, during the good times and the bad times. You might say I'm a bit of a fanatic, but that only tells half the story. Since the late 90s, I've made it my goal to document your history. I've dedicated my life to preserving your good name. You are known around the world for your attitude and speed. You mean a lot to so many. For this video, we take a look at your first outing on the glorious Mega Drive and check out its release around the world. Join me as we explore box art variants for Sonic the Hedgehog, the good, the bad, and the up, down, left, right. I've always been fascinated by video game box art, reading the manuals, exploring the spines. Sometimes the box art can be just as important or even as good as the game itself. While nowadays most box art is very similar no matter where it is released in the world, back in the day every region would have its own different design. Being a huge Sonic fan, I've gone out of my way to track down as many Sonic variants as possible. There are lots of obvious ones from Europe, America, Japan, but there are also some extremely exotic ones from places that you might not expect. We're going to have a look at some of those right now. Let's see how we get on. Most viewers of this channel will be from Europe, so it makes sense to start there. Just in the UK we had 4 different releases, although the only difference is where the game was made. We can see here the 4 countries being China, which is the most common, Thailand, Japan, and the least common Malaysia. It is possible there may be other countries the standard release was made, but we're not sure yet. Other versions would include the Portuguese and Greek releases that would have special stickers attached and an extra manual with the language of that country. Hopping over the Atlantic, the US release of the game also had several different designs, and similar to the European release, these are fairly minimal. The biggest difference is the pack-in only not for resale version. The other difference is with the second print showing a change of address after Sega changed their contact details in the USA. There is also a worldwide pattern info added as well for good measure. The US also had a classics release of Sonic. The only differences between the 2 variants came after the game age ratings changed in the USA following the Mortal Kombat saga. The second reprint also has a cheaper black and white manual. Let's stay in the Americas, but hop north to Canada. Here we find one of Sonic's more interesting releases, the Mega Drive Genesis mashup. On the front everything seems the same as the European release. Simple white artwork, the same manual, but look a little closer. It has the Genesis logo instead of the Mega Drive. Even the cart has this awkward blend. Let's head south and end up in Brazil, where Sega licensed their production and distribution of all their games and systems to Tectoy. This is one of the strangest releases, as the Mega Drive logo is in the Genesis font, and the only recognition of Sega is in the copyright information on the back. We head out across the Pacific and land in Australia. Here Sega labelled everything Aussie Soft, and these releases are notorious amongst collectors as being bad quality and often in bad shape. 2 versions were released, one similar to the Canadian mashup under the Not Permitted for Rental branding, and the second under a Classics branding, which is more or less the same as the European version. Both have poor quality cart artwork and equally horrid manuals. Oh, Aussie Soft. We end our journey in the land of the rising sun. The Japanese version is my favourite as it's so colourful and definitely has the best manual. This is the only one released in Japan itself, but there are other Asian variants out there and I'll be getting those someday. This is my collection of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Mega Drive, but there are more out there. I will concede that many collectors will not consider minor artwork or word changes as variants, but for me it's all about preserving gaming history and making sure we can refer back when we need to. I hope you enjoyed our little trip around the Sonic universe today. What are your thoughts on collecting variants? Do you have your own variant collection for a different set of games? I've been Retro Faith. Thanks for watching. Keep it retro.